There are all kinds of biohacking tools out in the world now, things like infrared saunas, cold plunges, EMF blockers, and red light therapy. And there's one that I've been really curious about, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Have you heard of it? It's becoming more common, but not super common in more rural areas like where I live. It's becoming more well-known though, and for good reason. To learn more about it and the benefits, I asked Cloe Bohbot to help us out. She's an owner of Oxynergy in Beverly Hills, a hyperbaric oxygen therapy center. I have to tell you, I was really surprised at the wide range of benefits that this therapy can have for people. You're going to hear stories of it helping people with wound healing, Lyme disease, and neurodegenerative disorders. Certainly something that we should all learn about so that we know if it's something that could be a benefit to each of us at some point in our lives. And since they have some other biohacking and health tools in their center, we also talk through those. I'm all about learning ways to improve my health, and this conversation really made me more informed on therapy options. I'm excited to share it with you all as well. Thanks for clicking play today, and if you want to keep learning about health and wellness topics in this really easy way, make sure you follow or subscribe to our channel. Welcome to the Daily Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Meredith. I've led my family on a transformative health journey for over a decade, and now I help other families do the same. This is a place where busy moms can learn about healthy living. I hope that what you learn here helps you feel empowered to take the next step in your family's health journey. Hey, Chloe, I heard a little bit of your story, and you had mentioned that you came from a health-conscious family. So I'm very curious to hear about that. What did that look like for you growing up?
Yeah, so growing up, I kind of grew up in an almond household. Do you know what that means?
Yes.
So my whole house was just ingredients and healthy ingredients. And everything we ate came in glass jars. We drank water that was not in plastic water bottles, everything organic. And growing up, I was annoyed because I wanted mac and cheese and fruit roll-ups like my friends, but I always was just super healthy because I had no other choice. And so then as I started growing up, I started realizing, okay, now I can eat whatever I want. I could drink whatever water I want. I could drink soda because I'm out of the house. And then once I started eating those foods, I started feeling horrible. I started getting sick. And I was so weirded out. Why am I not feeling good? And then I realized it was because of the foods and water that I'm drinking. And so that's really how I grew up. Also working out every Sunday, we had family hike day. Every night we had dinner, home cooked meals. We had walks every morning with my family. And so when I grew up, I stopped doing those things. My health started to decline. So it brought me back into the health conscious environment.
Yeah, that's amazing. I try to raise my kids that way. I feel like, I would say we were pretty health conscious in our home. And so I'm really curious to hear what they're going to say when they're adults about
the same thing. They're gonna go through their phase of drinking soda and eating Red 40, and then they're gonna feel bad and then come back. So
be like, Mom, help me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in your journey, you went from California to New York and then back to California. Is that right?
Yes, exactly.
Those are pretty different cultures, I'm sure.
Very different. And you know what? I loved my time in New York. I spent 6 years there. It was very life-changing for me. I mean, I kind of blossomed and grew up, but at a certain point, I decided it's time to leave. New York's great for a certain amount of time, or for me at least.
Yeah. So when you came back to California, what is it that you started doing?
So, well, after I graduated college, I studied marketing and business management, and then I got a job in New York. I worked there for a few years, and then I decided to move back to Los Angeles. My mom had a business idea to open up a hyperbaric oxygen center, and she wanted me to be her partner on it. So I decided, okay, yes. I flew back to LA, and then we just started in our guest house of me behind a computer, learning, building website, and then her designing the center, and it kind of just grew into Oxynergy too.
Yeah. So what is hyperbaric chamber therapy?
Yeah. So hyperbaric oxygen therapy is when you're sitting or laying down inside of a pressurized vessel. So it can be a little room, it could be a tube that you lay down in. There's a tent, there's different shapes and forms, and it pressurizes like a submarine, or in other terms, it kind of feels like you're in an airplane because your ears are popping. And so what it's pressurizing to a certain atmospheric pressure, and there's different levels, and then you're breathing in pure oxygen at the same time. So the pressure basically forces the oxygen to go deeper into your body and go to the places in your body that oxygen you may not have enough of or that doesn't travel to.
Gotcha. And what is it that really drove you guys to this business idea as the thing you want to offer?
So, I mean, during COVID, it was a very scary time, especially in the first few months. We didn't know what was going on. Nobody really knew what was going on. There was all these pills that were coming out. People were saying, take that. And then 3 weeks later, they were like, no, it could kill you. And then they had all of these other therapies and they're saying, no, don't do that. It could kill you. And so basically my mom started looking at ways to prevent her from getting sick, or if she did get sick, to help her survive, because in the beginning, we all thought, okay, we're all ending up on ventilators, God forbid.
Right.
So she found hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and she decided to buy one for her house, for her family, in case any of us got sick. But then she started looking at all the benefits and how it's not just good for long COVID or to prevent getting COVID and strengthen your immune system. It's good for so much more. And she realized people don't know about this. And she had a yoga center in Beverly Hills, and it closed due to COVID. Unfortunately, it was a beautiful space. So she said, you know what, let me put a hyperbaric chamber there for my friends and family and in the community of the people I know. But then she had an idea that maybe it could be a business. So then she called me, and then I learned about it. We started taking courses. We went to hyperbaric conferences in the US, International Hyperbarics Association. We got certified. We got hyperbaric safety trained directors. And then, that's how we discovered it.
Yeah. So to offer the therapy, do you have to have certain certifications?
You do. Okay, technically you don't need to. Yeah. However, you should.
Right.
It's why we did. We got every certificate and every course available because we want to make sure we're doing it right. Safety is our number one priority. We want also to feel trusted. And so,
Yeah. So you kind of hit on this already, but it seems like there are a lot of benefits to this. So can you kind of talk through what kind of problems are people coming to you with, or what kind of benefits are they really hoping to get? What kind of benefits have you seen in people as they've come through your services?
So we are in Beverly Hills. So a lot of our patients that come are from plastic surgery or from surgery that aren't healing properly, because we're kind of in the hub of surgery. We have a hospital down the block. We have different surgery centers around the corner. So most people come after surgery. They come to reduce inflammation, decrease pain, make sure their wound is healing, whether it's rhinoplasty, whether it's a facelift, whether it's a tummy tuck, or whether it's a hernia surgery, back surgery. And they come to make sure their wound heals. They come to make sure there's proper amount of blood flow to the area, because if there's not enough blood flow, it most likely won't heal. It won't heal well. You'll be in a lot of pain, and it can make necrosis. So hyperbaric prevents necrosis, and necrosis is when you don't have enough blood flow to an area, and then that part starts to die. So I see a lot of patients who do surgery, and then their nipple turns black or purple, and that means there's not blood flow, and then their nipple could fall off. Yeah. So hyperbaric's really their only hope. And so they come, they do a certain amount of sessions, and then the blood flow restores, which is really great. We actually have a patient who got an infection in the hospital from a plastic surgery. And so she had a wound that was really big and not healing. It was really scary. And she was so scared, and she was a beautiful woman, and she has a huge wound on her stomach that's not healing. He did 20 sessions of hyperbaric, and it completely closed. Even after 10 sessions, it was halfway closed. So it's really amazing seeing these life-changing results, especially from surgery.
Yeah. I've heard that hyperbaric can even help people with on the mental health side of things, people who've had post-traumatic stress syndrome or struggling with depression and anxiety and things like that. Is that true?
Yes. So, I mean, look, results may vary. There are
Right.
people who it has helped, people who it hasn't. Every case is different. However, a lot of people with PTSD or a lot of people with mental health issues, it really, really helps. I can attest to that. I mean, there are certain parts of it in our brain that aren't functioning properly. They are always on fight or flight mode, or certain parts of the brain are inflamed, and that causes brain fog, which in turn can cause anxiety. And so the hyperbaric increases the blood flow to the brain. It increases the oxygen levels in your brain. Our brain takes 25% of our body's oxygen, and our brain is tiny compared to the rest of our body. So think of how much oxygen it needs, and think of how much better it could function if you give your body more oxygen. So since we are only breathing 21% oxygen just outside in the air, and then we're exhaling 16%, we retain a good amount, but we need more, just like vitamins. You can get a good amount from foods, but sometimes your body just needs more. So with mental health, I've seen a lot of people just their lives change, their moods get better, their speech get better, their focus get better, their sleep get much better.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of different, probably in different places across the country. I know, like, where I live, like, I live in the Southwest Missouri, and there might be one hyperbaric chamber within a 60-mile radius of me. I don't know. But I know a functional medicine doctor that I've worked with a couple hours away that uses one. And so I'm just guessing that maybe some people are more familiar with this and some people are less familiar with this. Like, I feel like it's being talked about more and used more, but it's not still like really widely understood. So can you kind of talk us through like what an appointment looks like? Like, what does it look like to go and actually get in a chamber and do this therapy?
So, I mean, it sucks that there's not a lot of hyperbaric places near you, because the whole point also of us starting Oxynergy is to bring awareness and hopefully open centers all around the US so that there is a center near you. So that, because people all over the world, no matter where you're from,
it's coming. I think it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. I promise. So people will call or book an appointment online. We have sessions ranging from 30 minutes. We have sessions ranging to 3 hours. So our most popular sessions are 90 minutes. And so you would call, we would ask you, okay, why are you starting hyperbaric? What's your health journey looking like? They would book their appointment. They would come in, they would do their session. And then we would speak to them. Okay, what are your health goals? Are you here just for general health and wellness? Do you have sleep issues? Do you have a wound that's not healing? Maybe memory loss? And then we'll design a protocol for them. So, for example, a protocol for memory loss in aging people. So it's the natural aging process. Your brain just your cells start dying, so your brain just doesn't function properly anymore. You'll do 40 to 60 sessions of 90 minutes or 2 hours, 5 days a week for 2 to 3 months. And you'll play memory games. We have red light therapy to put on your scalp to stimulate blood flow to your brain, reduce inflammation, increase that cellular energy in your brain, just to improve the cells and keep them alive and healthy, because as you age, your cells start dying. That's just the natural aging process. So we want to prevent that and reverse it.
Wow. Okay. So you're in there. Do you just lay still the whole time? Do you do anything while you're in there? Or is it just like still and wait?
Okay. So just like I said in the beginning, there's different styles of chambers. So it's kind of like a car. They all get you to the same destination, but they have different styles. Some are more luxurious, some are less luxurious. So there are some hyperbaric chambers that you just lie down flat and you just hang out for an hour and a half or 2 hours. But our chambers are spacious, kind of like little living rooms, and you can watch TV. We have Netflix in there. You can get on a phone call. You can play games. You can read a book. And you can basically treat it like a living room for however long you're in there for. You could stretch. You could do yoga. There's certain electronics you can't bring in because we have certain safety measures and protocols that we follow. But more or less, you can just hang out, FaceTime a friend, do some work, read a book, nap, stretch, watch TV.
And what determines how long of a session people do?
So it depends what they're coming in for. Some people an hour would be good. Some people 90 minutes would be good. Some people 2 hours would be good. So it depends what their condition is. And then we'll tell them how long of a session. For example, me, myself, I go in for an hour just to get a boost of energy, maybe better sleep that night, less brain fog if I'm feeling a little out of it. But other people, older people will go in for 90 minutes, or people recovering from something, or maybe they have a condition that they really need help in, they'll go in for longer.
Okay, that makes sense. And do you guys offer other services?
Yes. So all of our services complement hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So we have targeted red light therapy, which really increases your cellular energy and blood flow to whatever area you put it on. We have infrared sauna to detox and increase blood circulation in your body. We have a biocharger, which is very cool. It sends pulse electromagnetic fields to your body, and it basically charges your cells with different frequencies. So you become kind of like an electric outlet. If you hold a light bulb while you're in front of it, the light bulb will turn on because you are getting that electricity from the machine. It's very cool. And it's really cool. When I am feeling sad, I put on the depression recipe. I swear it makes me feel better. My mood lifts. I feel more energized. I feel like I'm connected to the earth. That's why a lot of people with mental health, it's important to go outside, put your feet on the floor, soak in that energy from the earth. So this machine kind of replicates that. And then we also have lymphatic drainage massages with our masseuse, who specializes in lymphatic drainage, to help first not only snatch the body, but get rid of all your toxins, get rid of your water weight. And it's also really good for surgery. And then last but not least, we have IV vitamin drips and vitamin shots. So we have all different types of vitamins, amino acids to replenish the body, strengthen the immune system.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about the IV therapy, because that is something that I have seen more, even in my area here in the Midwest. And so what are some of the benefits of that? I mean, what are people coming in for, hoping that they can get help with from the IVs?
So some people come in hungover. They drink too much the night before and they need their electrolytes and B complex going back in their body, because it usually gets depleted from alcohol. We have a lot of people coming in because they're sick, or they are going on a trip and they don't want to get sick. So they get our immune boosting IV with vitamin C, magnesium, B12, B complex, glutathione. We have people detoxing from mold, so they get a lot of glutathione. Glutathione is really good to eliminate free radicals from your cells and strengthen your immune system. It also helps skin. So people with eczema flare-ups, people with skin conditions will do glutathione, like, for example, topical steroid withdrawal really, really helps. It's called the glutathione glow. And then we have NAD, which is really good for your mitochondria, really helps also increase longevity, more energy. And yeah, so it's basically also case by case. Whatever you're looking for, we can customize an IV treatment. We can test your micronutrients through your blood to see what you're lacking. And then we can make up for it in IV therapy.
Right. And do you have a couple of stories of people that have come in and really turned their health around using some of these therapies?
Yeah. So we have a patient who had topical steroid withdrawal. And when she first walked in, it was kind of like a snake, like shedding skin. And I felt so bad for her, because this woman was beautiful, but she was hiding with glasses and gloves, and everywhere she walked, she was just shedding skin. And it's so painful, because as a woman, beauty nowadays is so important, and it sucks, but it is. So when you're dealing with something that's out of your control, no matter how many creams and beauty stuff you do, you're not yourself. So she did 60 sessions of hyperbaric therapy. She did the biocharger for the skin recipe, and she did glutathione drips. And her life completely turned around. I mean, towards the end of her treatment, she was coming in tank top, no glasses, no gloves, Her skin just got so much better. She was able to go out, feel confident. She went on vacation, lived her life again. That was amazing to see. We had a patient with Lyme's disease. She couldn't even get out of bed. She had to Uber here every day because she couldn't drive. She was young. She was 28, 27, and beautiful girl, like, but couldn't function and couldn't work out, nothing. So she came, she did 60 sessions of hyperbaric since that's the protocol for Lyme. After 10 sessions, she started driving here and she also had a concussion. She couldn't drive. And then after about 40 sessions, she was a completely different person. After 60 sessions, she was herself. Look, it didn't cure her 100%, but it gave her 80% of her life back.
Yeah.
And so those are two. Oh, one more really amazing story. We had a guy, he was in his 70s. He had a neurological condition and he couldn't walk. He was in a wheelchair. Like, he couldn't walk, had tremors, just not able to. He did 60 sessions of 2 hours. Well, he did like 45, and then he did once a week the last 15 instead of doing it every day. But he started walking after the protocol. He was walking, not perfectly, but he was walking around the house. He was walking from the parking lot to us, and before he couldn't, and he was in a wheelchair. So it was really amazing to see.
That is amazing. I love that. I guess when I think of things like this, like hyperbaric and IV therapy and red light therapy, I think of it as kind of like a bonus to living like a healthy life, kind of having like some of those foundational health pillars in your life, like eating well and exercising and drinking clean water and things like that. And then you have all of these therapies that can just either speed your healing if there's something that you're suffering from, or can help you with preventative care, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, how do you kind of live that out in your life? Because I know like you already have those foundational kind of core things in your life, those health pillars that you kind of live by all the time. So how do these like extra therapies really enhance your life?
So, well, first, one thing that's super important and that I tell all my patients is to stop drinking plastic water bottles. So we have a hydrogen water machine here, which infuses water with hydrogen, which is really good at eliminating free radicals, decreasing inflammation. And so I tell everyone, bring your jugs and fill it up here, because microplastics is just horrible. They're even seeing it in babies being born now, like finding microplastics in the placenta. And so glass water bottles, I just refill. You don't have to buy it every day, so it won't break the bank. It's actually cheaper. And then another thing for me is I do IV drips once a month, just because I usually get sick. When I started working at Oxynergy, I was getting sick every 2 months, like a bad cold, because people come in here from all walks of life. I'm talking to people, I'm breathing in their breath, I'm touching them and then touching my face. Very hard to prevent germs. So I get an IV drip and it has changed my life. I feel so much healthier. I barely get sick anymore, knock on wood. And I just feel better, more energized. The hyperbaric has helped my sleep and my energy tenfold. Very rarely do I feel exhausted, where my eyes are burning and I have low energy. You know that feeling, right?
Yeah.
So I do hyperbaric twice a week, and it just gives me that boost. It increases my deep sleep and increases my HRV level, which is my heart rate variability. Now my HRV is like 160, which is very high. I don't know if any of your listeners have an Oura ring or something.
Yeah.
And then it just increases my mood, that makes my sleep better, my skin also. So that, and then the biocharger, like I said, whenever I'm feeling sad, I go in front of it. It lifts my mood. It's crazy. So that's how I do it. That's how I do our services.
What would you say to someone who is feeling a little bit hesitant to try some of these therapies? Maybe it's kind of all new to them, or, they're more used to the traditional model of just using pharmaceuticals or whatnot. Like, how would you encourage them to try something like this?
So yeah, I mean, look, our services, we're not telling anyone to stop using Western medicine. If anything, I would say use our services in conjunction with Western medicine. Ask your doctor too if you're unsure. And if you're hesitant, come and talk to us. I mean, one thing that Upsynergy too are very proud about is we're very honest. If we don't think something we have is going to help someone, we'll tell you right away. We will tell you exactly what to expect, what it's good for, and how it works. Also, all of our services, we don't add anything that doesn't have tons of science-based and clinical-based studies to prove the effectiveness of that. So if you're hesitant, come and try it once. See how you feel. The proof is in the pudding. And once you understand the science behind it, you'll be more convinced. So it's very important. That's why on our website, we have a ton of case studies. We have a ton of research articles. On our Instagram, we have a ton of educational videos. That is what will convince people versus saying, oh yeah, it'll work, and then not explaining why. So do your research before trying anything and find evidence. That's the most important thing I would tell people.
Yeah, very well said. And how can people keep learning from you or connect with you?
So yeah, follow us on Instagram, Oxynergy2, OXYNERGY, the number 2. It's basically a mixture of oxygen and energy, and then 2 at the end for O2. Kind of complicated, but it's cute if once you think about it.
Yes.
Our website is oxynergy2.com. We're located in Beverly Hills, California, 113 North San Vicente Boulevard on the 2nd floor. My name is Chloe. If you guys have any questions, you could always call and ask for me. And if any of your listeners want to book a treatment there in Beverly Hills, if they mention this podcast, I'll give them 10% off.
Awesome. Very generous of you. Thanks for your time. I love what you're doing to serve people.
Of course. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's episode on the Daily Wellness Podcast. We hope that you found it helpful for your own wellness journey. And if so, we'd love for you to leave a review. Then come back and listen for review shoutouts on upcoming episodes. For more information, check out the show notes and connect with us on our website, dailywellnesscommunity.com.